up, buddy? Sounded great.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
How was your trip to Staten Island?
3 hours long in traffic.
Get out of here.
Yeah, actually there was an accident, which is why it took me so long to get here. I called you from 80 East.
I was like, no, not
to
enough.
let you know. Yeah, I didn't want you to panic and think I wasn't coming.
I don't panic. Do I panic?
No. Okay.
No.
Yeah. So I'm excited about this. I mean, I've never seen the show before. I've heard about it, but I've never seen it before.
Your good friend George Lamont, right?
Yeah, George. Yeah, he's been here. Yeah.
And
a couple of big people actually. You've had numerous people from the cast of
Sopranos,
Blue
Bloods. Yeah, we get a lot.
Yeah.
We're fortunate to get a lot of reality stars.
Yeah.
As time goes on, we keep getting more and more people, which is good.
Yeah.
Thank God we get.
So
them.
is this like the first time you've had like entertainers here, like from the freestyle era, from the 80s?
Me and Vinnie
have
this
you done
year.
this before?
No, I always have some kind of musical act, either like a pop, rock, metal, every different show. But you know, me and Vinnie started talking, and I was like, and I was going to some of the shows, and he goes, "Why don't I get you some of this stuff? We'll work together." I go, "I'll bring you on as a co-host twice a year, and we'll do a different thing." I was like, "That's beautiful." So I want to do this, and I like it.
Yeah.
I listened to all this music back in the day.
Who didn't? You know, I mean, I think even now. These days, you know, there's been a resurgence of it, and we're doing venues now that we never did back in the day. You know, we're doing Madison Square Garden, we've done Taj Mahal, we've done, you know, Mohegan Sun Arena. I mean these are big events, you know, big arenas, big venues.
How does that make you feel that freestyle music went from starting out to be something like it was, and now you're filling these venues, and you're bringing back so many people to remember where they were?
I think it tells me that there's a gap in music, you know, and that even though there is a lot of good stuff out there these days by a lot of new artists and stuff, that a lot of it is actually forced on us, you know, whereas back in the day we used to pick and choose what we like to hear and listen to on the radios and stuff. So, you know, and I could name some of the radio stations like KTU and back in the day, and they used to support this music, and the reason why they did was because they were in contact with us on a personal level. You know, they used to come to the clubs and watch us perform and stuff.
But that was big back in the day.
Yeah.
The ticket giveaway, the whole deal.
You know,
who's sponsoring?
Absolutely. I think it was there was more of a contact issue with you know, us on a first name basis, you know, than there is today. Now it's like, it seems like everything's getting pumped out by the corporate you know, the corporate machine, and it's getting shoved down our throats.
Today it's more the producer's name is famous behind the song.
Yeah, but you know what?
Talent.
I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that because, you know, a lot of the stuff that they're doing is really good. I mean, there's a record label, Armada, that I love a lot of the stuff that's coming out of there, and it's great dance stuff. I compare it to like what we were doing in the 80s. You know what I mean? It's good stuff. I like it.
Well, freestyle started out as something known as Latin hip hop.
Yes, Latin hip hop.
And
exactly.
just blew up and became its
it's
own
had
thing.
like 3 different tags, you know, but I'm not a tag person. As an artist, and most artists will tell you this, we don't like tags, you know, because we like to be able to do all kinds of different music, you know, like I know you love rock and roll, and I actually did a pop rock album in '93 with Polygram Records. So, you know, as an artist, and I think most musicians feel this way, they like to be able to dabble in different kinds of music, not be pigeonholed into one style.
Right.
You know what
You
I
know
mean?
what it is when you're around so many years and you're doing a certain genre of music. You know what I mean? Like that's like say Aerosmith doing hard rock for 20 years, then they start doing country. They're gonna get a lot of slack, but they get away with it.
Yeah.
You know.
But you know what? When you look at Run DMC, what they did
was different. That
you
was
know
good,
what I'm saying? And so they crossed the bridge. You know, they did you had the lead singer from Aerosmith with Run DMC. You know what I mean? Go figure.
So
there were no borders there, and that's exactly what I'm saying. You know, there are no borders to music. I think, like I said, titles are for people to be able to identify what style of music it is, but I think as musicians, we don't like that. You know, we like to be able to do whatever we want. If we want to do rap, let's do rap. You know, if you want to do rock, let's do rock. You know, if you want to do dance, let's do dance. And I've always been that way, you know, and I'm sure a lot of my colleagues feel the same way. I'm sure you do too.
No,
I mean, you didn't
100%.
only like rock. You liked
I like everything.
Dance music.
I like everything.
Yeah.
I like everything from the big band to the 50s to the 60s to the 70s. I like every genre. The 90s I really wasn't too into. I'm not really too much into pop. I mean, hip hop, rap. Not
But
really
some
my
of
cup
it, I
of
mean,
tea.
I'm sure you like DMX.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, DMX is cool.
You know?
Some of the stuff's okay. I mean, to me, you know, some of the hip hop artists that made it, that are making zillions of dollars, it's like, come on, it's like a joke. And when
Well,
there's
that's
a lot
what I
of-
mean. The
you know,
corporate machine pumping stuff down your throat. Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff that you gotta admit is really good, you know, and you just have to take it for what it is because it's good creative stuff. But then there's other stuff that gets jammed down your throat, you know, like these Disney kids that
Well,
grew
that's
up
huge.
and are
You know, come
pumping
on,
out
Disney, you
music
can't-
now.
you know,
And it's
whether
like,
you like it
you know,
or not.
you know
Right,
what I'm talking
yeah.
about.
the
And it's-
multi-billion-dollar
Studio
corporation.
creations.
I rest my case.
Well, listen, Noel, for people who don't know you, why don't we go back a little? You were born in the Bronx, right?
Born and raised in the Bronx, yeah.
What
Yeah.
age did you actually find yourself wanting to get into the music business?
I never even saw myself doing it. You know, it was a matter of being at the right place at the right time. I'm telling you the truth. It wasn't like I went out looking for it. It just kind of fell in my lap, and I was at first it kind of terrified me, you know, because all right, here's the scenario. I'm in a park, Fordham Road, Poe Park, Fordham Road, in the Bronx area. And there's a talent scout comes up to me and my friends, and he says, "Hey, I'm looking for a male vocalist." You know, so I jump up on a park bench and I start singing. You know, I don't know why, but it was the first thing that came to my head, a Barry Manilow song. I forget which one it was. But I start singing it, and the guy says, "Hey, you sound great." He gives me his card. He says, "Come down to the studio tomorrow. I want to do something with you." I'm like, okay, you know. But of course, I didn't believe him, you know.
Right, right.
Yeah, you're hanging out with your friends in the Bronx, and this guy comes up and does this. No, it doesn't
You were
happen.
probably being more sarcastic singing back.
Yeah, it
Right,
doesn't.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen. So my brother, he edges me on. He says, "Go. What do you got to lose? You know, go. You know, see what's happening." So I go down, and sure enough, you know, it was a studio set up and the whole 9 yards. And I was like, wow. So the guy tells me, you know, sit there and write a song. I'm like, are you serious? I said I had a hard time in social studies writing, you know, copying the blackboard. I'm gonna sit here and write a song. So anyway, you know, I said, how hard can it be? You know, so verse, you know, bridge, chorus, and I wrote a song called Spanish Morning. I don't know why. Don't ask me, but it had totally different lyrics, totally different concept, and we recorded it. And a few weeks later, these guys were nowhere to be found. They went MIA on me, yeah, and I was getting the studio bills.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So here's this. You know, I was a bar back in the Bronx. You know, what did I make? Like $40 a night, $50 a night. You know, not including tips. And you know, I approached my manager at the time, the manager of the club, and I asked him to help me out, and I handed him the demo tape. And 2 weeks later, he came back to me, and he had a record deal for
Oh,
me.
really?
with-
That's
yeah,
great.
4th and Broadway Island Records.
Wow.
Yeah. So you know what? Even though I didn't plan on doing this, and because of the circumstances, and the reason why I had asked him to help me was because I actually saw him walk into the club once with David Bowie and Mick Jagger. And I was like, wow. I
Yeah,
said,
that's
if
cool.
anybody can help me, it's this guy.
Oh,
you know?
definitely.
So I handed him the demo tape, and that was it. Spanish Morning became Silent Morning, and then, you know, all the lyrics were changed and stuff. And the song was out for maybe 3 months, you know. And then KTU, I remember it was at 1018. They used to come down and host. They hosted a night at this club called 1018. It used to be the Roxy.
That's when
You
they were
remember Roxy?
92.
90, yeah.
Yeah. So they came down, and Roman Ricardo, who was the DJ at the place at the time, he was constantly playing the song, you know, and the club kids loved it because it was an underground thing
Yep,
back then.
yep.
You know, it wasn't mainstream, it was underground. And when they saw the reaction of the kids, you know, because we were all kids back then, you know, and they were like, what is this song? We got to play this, you know, and they picked it up and they started playing it. And it became the #1 requested song for like, I think 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And it was #1 sales. I don't think it quite reached #1 on the Billboard charts as far as like, I think airplay or something like that, or popularity. I don't know. I forgot. It was Billboard was like
But
the
it's
thing back then.
synonymous with the sound.
Right, yeah.
Like, how many people remember where you were the first or last time you heard that song, aside from being here tonight, by a show of applause? See?
Yeah, and I've gotten that a lot throughout the years. You know, people, I remember exactly where I was this day when, and that song was playing on the radio.
See, when you
then I have other people tell you, I want to kill you because every morning my neighbor's blasting that song and it's driving me nuts. So, mixed feelings.
See, when your record came out in '88, back then they used to sell the records in the record store.
Oh yeah, vinyl was the way
You were
to
able
go.
to make money off it. How did that do for you
Absolutely.
financially back in the day?
I did great. I don't want to get into numbers, but
Yeah, good.
I have the 12-inch at home.
And they used to have the cassettes too. We're gonna get into that later.
That's
Yep.
right.
That
Yep.
a lot of these kids don't know about right now, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now listen, that's almost your time, but I want you to tell everybody about your book.
Oh, yeah. I've always been a sci-fi buff, man. I've, Star Wars, when that movie came out, I was a kid, and I just loved sci-fi stuff. So, and I won a couple of awards on my writing. I got some recognition of New York City Music Awards for writing and stuff like that. So I figured, why not try, to write a novel, because I'm not, even though I'm not much of a reader, I understand that a lot of these stories that you see in movies and stuff like
Yeah,
this
you'd be surprised. You
come
never
from
know what you
novels,
come up
yeah,
with.
and books like
Oh,
that. So
yeah.
I gave it a shot, and I wrote my first novel. And I don't want to get into the details about it because we haven't published it yet, but I think it's really good. I got a lot of great feedback, about it. So, it's one of the just something else that we're doing, and also I wanted to bring my partner here tonight. Because we're starting our production company. Me and this guy Rick Savage, who's a very good friend of mine. He's a
Yes.
great producer and writer.
Yep.
And so we're doing some new club music as well, more in the EDM style. So we're excited about that. So yeah, there's a couple of things that I'm doing. I've already started writing my second novel. So
Good.
But yeah, I'm excited about that.
Well, let's give it up one more time, everybody, for Noel.
All right.
Thank you.
Noel, where can they
Legendary
find you on the
performer.
internet?
Are you on Facebook? Do you have a website?
Yeah. Just look me up on Facebook. It's Noel Pagan is my last name. I'm on Facebook. I'm actually friends with you on Facebook. So if you want, it'd be a lot easier for you to find me through him.
That's
through
it.
Johnny. So.
And I'm sure you'll see him at an event.
Oh, and the new
nearby.
single is called "This Must Be Love," and you can pick it up on Amazon and iTunes now. So.
I saw a guy selling it in the parking lot before.
Was he? Hey, any help?
All right, Noel, everybody.
Thank you.
Noel, what a great guy.